Hey guys, it's Laura. I'm here to talk about a weird little animal in the tax forms called a 5498. Why is it a weird little animal? Because it comes after everything else. The deadline for issuing a 5498 is May 31st. Yes, that's after the tax deadline. That's because this form is showing what happened. It's showing your contributions to an IRA or an IRA type of vehicle. So key in on that. This is talking about contributions, stuff going in. It's not talking about stuff going out. That would be a Form 1099, and you need to get that before you file your tax returns. This one, the 5498 that's showing stuff coming in, it has to come after the tax deadline because you are allowed to put money in up until the tax deadline, right? So any of you have done that before where you said, oh shoot, I want to make a contribution to my IRA. Hey, it's April 1st. Yes, I can still do that. Great. Well, that's reported on a 5498, and that's why it comes after that tax deadline. So on a 5498, you're going to find the information of what you put into an IRA, a Roth IRA, a simple IRA, or a SEP IRA. So there are employer versions of this, but anything that smells like an IRA, quacks like an IRA, that's what we're talking about here. There's also a special Form 5498 that is an SA, which reports contributions to a health savings account, an HSA, or a variation thereof. So that's a separate 5498, again, that you'll get later in the year because you can make those contributions later in the year as well. So it says what went in. Now, generally, there may not even be a tax consequence here. You should have already reported what you put into your IRA when you did your 1040 so that you got your tax break. If you contributed to a Roth version, you weren't getting a tax break anyway. So it shouldn't affect your 1040 very much. So some people might think, well, 5498 is a useless piece of information. Not really. What you want to do with it is you want to confirm that it matches what you have in your records. If you thought you contributed $7,000 to your IRA, well, the 5498 should reflect that. You can then put that away with your other tax forms and just have that if you ever need it as proof of your contribution. I think of 5498s also as a good little reminder. A reminder that, hey, maybe you didn't contribute as much, or, oh, right, I should be contributing to my IRA or my Roth, and maybe I need to make a plan to make sure that I get that done this year. So it's a good reminder. Also, little tidbit, they do have a spot on the 5498 to report your RMD. Now, this is not saying that you took your RMD out. Remember, stuff going out is on a 1099. But the 5498 has a little box where the company can say, oh yeah, by the way, this person should be taking a required minimum distribution this year. And sometimes they'll also put that amount to remind you, hey, by the way, you should be taking out your RMD. Again, just a nice reminder that comes sometime in May or June for you. So see a 5498 in that way, and maybe it can be more helpful than you might otherwise think. Something else that 5498s can report that gets really confusing, so I'm just going to describe it here. 5498s have a spot for rollover. So if you rolled over, let's say from an employer plan to an IRA, and you used a 60-day rollover, not a trustee to trustee transfer, that will be reported on 5498, showing that you rolled that money over. You probably also got a 1099 from the plan that was where the money was leaving. That's important so that you can match those two up and show where it landed. Same thing for conversions to a Roth IRA. Where it landed is the part that's reported on the 5498. You probably got a 1099 if you converted money from an IRA or 401k to a Roth. 1099 shows it going out. 5498 shows where it landed. So it's important to match those two pieces of the puzzle up to confirm everything is copacetic and reported properly to the IRS, because we all want everything to be reported properly to the IRS so we don't get into any other hassles, do we? So there you go. Everything you ever wanted to know about a 5498, or at least scratching the surface. Again, if you have questions, make sure you're talking to your accountant, your CPA, and getting those questions answered so that you aren't getting into trouble with the IRS. Hope this was helpful to you. Have a great day.